it's Rob here and welcome to the first of my videos on building my Absima AB3.4 4-wheel drive buggy. Before we get into it, as you may have seen on my unboxing, the differentials come already built up like this one, but I think due to having to have bits added on, they only have one screw in them holding them together. So what I decided to do was basically take them apart just to check that they're all greased up correctly, and just to have a look inside to see what they're all about. And the good news is they're all bull raced, and as you can hopefully see here, there's absolutely no play forward and backwards on that output shaft there. And the other good thing is these output shafts for the dog bones are actually fixed in place. They can't come out, unlike most of Tamiya's. So to me that's a good thing. And the same on this side as well. It's held in place with a knee clip. I would have preferred myself, if I'm perfectly honest, more planetary gears in the differential, but hey, there's two, so that's what we're going to be stuck with. But as you can see, it was packed like that with grease, so that's good. And there we go. I'll get that put back together, and we can then start on the build proper. Right, I've got all the bits ready for the first step, which is the shock tower front, adding it to the diff housing. And I'm not going to go through all these numbers because they're 2, 4, 7 digits long, so yes, I'm just not going to do it. And each bag I've got to cut open, so I've got my cutting mat and my scalpel, so I think I'll just crack on and try and talk you through what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So we'll shift that out the way for a minute. And some of these bags will be used up in one step, some we'll have to keep hold of. For example, this is just a shock tower, so we can get rid of that completely. Okay, so looking at the step, let's just see if we can fold this for you so you can see here, possibly. Right, we're going to need 2 ball joints or 2 ball caps, nuts. That's these 2 here in the top, with 2 of these screws which don't look long enough if you ask me. Unless I've got something wrong. Ah, yes. So these slots go in there like so. Yep. And then we've got 2 of these other ball joints. And you will have to excuse me because I need to find out which hole. And they look like they go into this hole here. Like that. And then these ones go into the top hole here. And wow, I'm going to have to screw that in. That's not going through. So I don't think I'm going to do this on camera. Oh, has it gone in? No, it's not going in. Right, anyway, that's what we have to do, is that goes in there, supposedly like so. And we screw these screws through, which aren't really going through. But because it's metal on metal, I've got my trusty thread lock, so I'll be thread locking those, and I'm just going to struggle on and come back to you once I've got them on. Okay, and the other thing I forgot to mention is for some reason these ball joints are bigger than you get on a Tamiya kit, so the nut spinner I'm using is the one that I normally use for the wheel nuts. But hey, there we go. So we can now move on, and I can't find the other bag, so let's start. Here we go. So for adding the shock mount to the diff, we need 2 off of 3x12mm countersink screws, which I hadn't got out, and from looking at this I think it goes in like that, hence there was only 1 screw, and they go in 1 there and 1 there, and then we should just be able to tighten them up. So I think I'll do that, and we can swiftly move on to the rear shock tower. Okay, so again we're going to need these ball joint nuts and 2 ball joints, 2 3x8mm flat screws, and the rear shock tower. And again, these screws don't quite fit, so we're going to have to force them in to begin with, which is a pain in the backside. There we go, I think I've got that started. Yeah, and then we can carry on. If we look at it this way, then yeah, the other ball joint goes here, and again I think I'm going to use my nut spinner, because they're hard to start. I think this is going to be a long build, guys, and I'll carry on again once I get to these top ball joints. I'll be using my thread lock, and then we can then move on to the rear wing mount, which looks interesting. Okay, so the rear wing mount, we've got I don't know what you'd call them, the struts. Then we've got the R-clip mounts themselves, which screw onto the struts. We need 4, I think, 8mm by 3mm and 3 self tappers, and 2 3x10mm countersink screws. We've got 1, I'm not sure what colour, bronze would you call that, coloured aluminium hexagonal rod. So again, more thread lock being used in a second, which joins both of these struts together, and these struts are directional. You might not be able to tell on here, but these countersink screws go through them like so, these holes, and on the one there's a flat, you might just be able to see that, and on the other it's sort of countersunk ready. So I think what I'll do is, having a look at the diagram, so we'll get one of these. I don't think, oh yeah, I think these might be directional as well, because there's two holes on the top and one on the bottom, or however you want to use it, and this looks like the two holes on the top go that way, and it's telling me to use the inner hole at the top to begin with. So it'll go like that, but I'm assuming you can do it like that, who knows. But let's just see, because these are self-tappers and I bet they don't fit. And so far I would have to say, don't tighten these up too tight if you ever get one of these kits, because the plastic okay, excuse me a minute guys, I probably will leave this on. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, that's showing that screwing on the outside. When they've got the photo of the one put together, they're on the inside. Well, I hope you can tell I'm not very impressed at all with this kit. I just bloody well hope it runs better. Right, back to where I was 5 minutes ago. So now that should poke through there nicely, and I can put a dab of thread lock on it. And screw the little beast up. That's a small one, makes a change. There we go. And again, I'm not going to do this too tight. And then we can just get onto the other side. So I'll be back shortly. Now, there we have the rear wing mount made up eventually. But and it's now time to mount it onto the rear shock tower, and from looking at it, it goes on like so, and we use 3x10mm self-tapping screws, so at least they fit through. We'll get that done. I can't believe, I'm sure these screws are going to overlap. Can't believe they've told you to use these screws. Surely they've got some better ones. I mean, look. We will see. I'll screw them in and get back to you. Right, the wing mount is now attached to the shock tower, and the final step I think for this video, we're going to attach the shock tower to the differential, and again I believe it just slides down there, and this time according to this we need 4 screws, which are, I can't remember now, 229 3x14mm self tappers countersink, and they go in here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I'll get them tightened up and we can have a look what the differentials look like together. And here we have both diffs ready to go into the chassis. It's feels a bit notchier now that all 3 screws are in the casing than good old Tamiya's, but we'll see how we get on. And this one, yeah, same, feels quite notchy in places. One there, you might not be able to pick that sound up, but yeah, I may have to take that apart, blooming heck. But we'll see how we go. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers, bye.